Many Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats podcast.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy Friday, man. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. It's your host with the most, Tony Mays, and we have Lavelle Salter. Lavelle is out for the day, man, but we are still moving forward, man, and we have a treat for you today. I have a special guest today in the person of Miss Monica Mays, my wife. She's going to be joining us, and we are going to have a conversation today about when the woman says she has lost her inner peace. So we're going to talk about that today. But before I get into that, matter of fact, let me go ahead on and bring her to the stage. Good morning, baby.
Good morning, my guy.
How you doing?
I'm good this morning.
Good. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Good morning.
Don't do that. You didn't even sound right saying it. Good morning,
my guy. Good morning.
You ain't even sound right saying it. So I want to give a shout out. Of course, this is the last day of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so I wore my pink all month. I told you I was gonna wear my pink in celebration of breast cancer awareness, just so that we could be more aware. In the Two Men in Hat podcast, we stand in support those who are in the fight, those who have come to the fight, those who continue to support the fight. We stand in the gap with you guys. So shout out to you guys. Also, good morning, Lavelle. Shout out to Lavelle put this together for us, man. We have been talking about it. He had been saying, hey, man, we need to do this. We need to get this done. So I reached out to my pastor, and it is done. The Prepared Life Essential Surviving Emergency Kit Seminar. We're going to be talking about some things that you need to survive in the case of an emergency. So this is it's free. There ain't no charge. Make sure you invite any and everybody out to it. It's going to be November the 8th. This is next Saturday from 12 to 2 at Lake Grove, 4941 Weaver Road. So make sure you come out. I'm going to bring a couple of my big kits out with some things in it that, we'll go through, and then we'll have maybe not an exhaustive list, but a good list of stuff that you can purchase, that you can have in the case of an emergency. All right. Also, since we're so close and right around the corner to our tent drive.
Hope. One tent at a time. Every day in America, more than 770,000 people are without a place to call home. Here in Memphis, over 1,200 neighbors, families, children, and veterans face the same struggle each night. That's why Tony Mays and Lavelle Salter of the Two Men in Hats podcast invite you to their second annual tent drive for the homeless. Saturday, November 22nd, 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Morris Park, 747 Poplar Avenue. 38105. We're collecting tents, blankets, sleeping bags, and warm gear to help our brothers and sisters without shelter this winter. Music powered by DJ One Love Entertainment, sponsored by Lake Grove MB Church, Weaver Road, and New Sardis MB Church Men's Ministry. Together we can make a difference. One donation, one heartbeat, one act of love at a time. For more information, contact Tony or Lavelle at 901-4283, 822, or 90184-82758.
All right. So there you have it. Those are the two things. Good morning, Miss Loretta. That we're going to be doing the Prepared Life and the tent drive, both in November. So we got a just a power packed month and in store for you this month, the month of
I,
November.
so, babe, I got another additional shout out this morning.
All right, come on in with it.
So this morning, our son will be hosting a Halloween trick or treat. 1906 Madison from 4 o'clock until 8 o'clock on today. Bring the children out if you don't have anything already planned to do. He's doing it at Misfits Tattoo Studio, 1906 Madison from 4 o'clock until 8 o'clock tonight. They'll be having face paintings, popcorn candy, food trucks, temporary tattoos for the children. So again, if you're not doing anything, take the children out and support him on today, 4 until 8, 1906 Madison Avenue. That's Misfits Tattoo Studios.
And it's more in support for you guys than support for him, because he's doing that for the community, and that's something he didn't have to do. He want to do that for y'all cheering. So
Yes.
get them kids and grandkids out there, man. The 1906 Madison Avenue across from Huey's, that's in Midtown, and go out and get them kids some candy and stuff like that. Yeah. All right.
Good morning, Mailman.
On into this thing.
All right, we're ready. Let's go.
I'm gonna take the comments down, y'all, off the screen, and if there's something significant, we'll still be reading the comments, but we'll put them up there if we need to. When a woman says she's lost her inner peace, so I thought this morning, man, that it would be conducive to have my wife on this show this morning, or at least a woman to represent, and she agreed to come on, because this is one of those topics, man, that you really need a woman's perspective as well. We can talk about it, we can go through the slides and kind of dig, but we wanted to have a woman on to kind of talk about and give a woman's perspective of it. And since I definitely respect her perspective, we wanted to make sure we had a woman to represent you ladies, women. All right. So when a woman says she's lost her inner peace, we're going to jump into understanding the deeper meaning behind her words. Like, what is she really trying to say? When she says she done lost her inner peace. So, babe, just right off the top, without even getting into the slides, and I know you looked over the slides, but if you were to say or to tell me you've lost your inner peace, what would you be saying to me?
So for me, it would be the same as what we discussed yesterday for the men. It's something internally that I've lost. We kind of talked yesterday about the men and how it's something on the inside that's missing. It's the same for women. Sometimes we go through things that we don't discuss, that we don't talk about. But when we lose our inner peace, and I think it has something to do with age too. Ladies, please chime in with me, right? So when you get to a certain age, peace means everything to you. It means everything to me. And if I lose something that's on the inside, then I've lost almost everything.
Okay.
Lavelle, I'm going to try not to do too much, okay? I got you.
She ain't got you.
I got you, Lavelle.
So if Monica, if you were to come to me and say, babe, I ain't got no peace. My peace is, I am, the first thing I'm going to think is, what have I done? I'm just going to be honest with you. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to probably think to myself, what have I done to disrupt her peace or to cause her peace to be, missing or gone? And so at that point, I'm going to say, so, what does that really look like? What does that really mean? Kind of, let's try to get to the surface of what that really means, because as we discovered yesterday, saying I lost my peace from a man's perspective could mean several different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing I'm gonna think is, in terms of the relationship, where have I faulted? And but when you start to drill down, it may not even have anything to do with what you've done in the relationship. It may just have something to do with her personally. And so, just like with the man,
Absolutely. Absolutely, babe. And that's what I was just about to say, that sometimes it's not even about the man. It's just something that women go through. And so, it's cool. Like if you're in a relationship and your significant other brings it to you and say, what have I done? That means that person really love you and care about what you have going on. But sometimes it is about the man. But sometimes it's not about the man. It's just about what the woman herself is going through.
so in that case where it's really just about the woman and what she's going through, like, so shouldn't there be a dialogue, some communication? Because if I can't support you in what you're going through, if I don't really understand what you're going through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with this 2 men in hats, you guys have talked about communication being the key. Communication is typically the key to everything, not just in the relationship, but in everything that you do. And so, yes, conversation should be had. That way, one person or the other person is not thinking, what have I done? What can I do? Because sometimes it's not even about that. But yes, if you're communicating, you'll be okay.
The bills are, we all need to protect our peace and have people in our circle to help us protect it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Melissa,
Lavelle, I think somebody hit on that yesterday about the people that you surround yourself with. You have to make sure that the people that you're surrounded with are like-minded of you. Because sometimes if you surround yourself with someone who's the opposite as far as being negative or overly negative, it can trickle down on you. So yes, your circle is very important.
yeah, and you have to be careful about navigating through people who that are always negative if they're in your circle, and they're always and sometimes you can be the positive light. Me and Mike was having a conversation last night, and we were just talking, and then I was just telling her that she could be the positive light in that particular situation. Like, you could be the positive, like you could be the person that shares the positivity to help break down that negativity. In some cases, not all cases.
In some cases you can, but in some cases you surrender.
Number one, I'm gonna let you take it, baby. We'll talk about it.
Okay, so let's talk about number one. She's saying, I don't feel safe, calm, or centered anymore. So if someone comes to you and they verbally say, I don't feel safe, I don't feel calm, or I don't feel centered anymore, Houston, we have a problem. Because one thing that I truly admire, Tony and I, as you know, guys, we've been together a long, 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 long time. And one thing that I can honestly say,
Capitalize
that
the L.
long time. But the one thing that is truly important in the relationship for me personally is safety. Like, I have to feel safe with Tony, and I feel 1,000% safe with him. And if I'm a woman and I go to someone and I say I don't feel safe, I don't know if it's a comeback from that.
Yeah. If she's saying I'm not, I don't feel safe or calm or centered. So if you listen to those three different things, I don't feel safe is generally maybe something's going on in whatever relationship, whether it's her personal relationship at home, her work relationship, because she could be on the job and she said, I don't feel safe, where this maybe have threatened her or have threatened her job, and I don't feel safe, or the boss, have come in and said something, so she feels like her job is threatened. So when you say I don't feel safe, that could go across several different types of relationships. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's the relationship in the home where she does not feel safe.
Right.
So she can also say, hey, I'm just not calm in this. I don't know what's going on. I'm emotionally unsettled and I'm not calm. If I'm not calm, that means I'm about to pop off.
Stay,
You know,
stay right
I
there
was,
for one. Stay right there for 1 second. That calm thing. Look, menopause, people. We don't want to talk about menopause, but menopause will have you on the deep end real quick. In 0 to yeah. So, ladies, I know y'all on here. Gwen, I know you on here. Tell the people. Put in the comments. Let's talk about this.
yeah,
Feeling calm is important. I could be happy right now, and then 2 seconds later, I'm not so happy.
yeah. Miss Green, if you could jump on this morning, jump on, cause I'd love to, cause I really love for you and Monica to really carry this conversation. And then I'll just kind of add from a man's perspective, like how we feel like engaging with y'all in this. So if you could jump on, jump on. If you can't, we understand. Mel said I was driving home from the concert last night, and Cardi B song "Safe" came on, and she was like, "I don't need your money, but I want to feel safe." Man, Lavelle said holistically safe, mind, spirit, body, and soul.
Hmm.
So in that instance where Mel said, "Yep, let's have a show. Please have me on Worth the Minnow."
Menopause. I got you, Mel. I understand.
Uh, what about this? I don't feel centered anymore.
Hmm.
That could that could come from a multi-directional place. You know, uh, could that be a personal, internal thing where I just don't feel centered anymore?
Yes.
So if she does not feel centered, you know, I think maybe that has a lot to do with maybe a purpose a little bit. Where maybe her purpose is off, or she's feeling like she hasn't been able to kind of fulfill her purpose, and that could be in relationship, that could be on the job, that could be just in her personal life, period. So, uh, but to take it a step further, Monica, she feels hurt,
Hmm.
confused,
Confused
hmm
and
dis
disappointed.
yeah,
Hmm.
and you know when I have a conversation with Monica and she says, "Look, I'm confused." I'm like, "What you confused about?" That's to me, confused is an easier conversation than I'm hurt,
Hurt.
I'm
Hmm.
disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm,
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, for me, from a man's perspective, hearing "I'm confused" is a conversation I can welcome more so than if she tell me she's hurt or disappointed. Because at that point, when I hear "I'm hurt, I'm disappointed," I'm like, "Fuck." Like, them two were hurt and disappointed. Man, yeah, that's something else. But something has disturbed her emotional stability. Something has disturbed her emotional, and I hope to God it ain't me. I pray it ain't me. Mel say y'all on point. This and Laura hurt, confused, and disappointed. Yeah, Lavelle says she has to do some work as well when it comes to being centered. We all know sometimes women can be extra.
Hold on, Laville. Don't do that. I'm glad I'm on this show this morning. I can verbally talk instead of type. Don't do too much, Laville.
I do, boy.
Don't do too much, Laville, on the women then. I got y'all ladies.
Yeah, I ain't even finna go there, bro. I'm not even finna do that one. I'm not doing that one at all. But something has literally disturbed her emotional stability. If she is emotionally unsettled, she ain't feeling it.
Right.
Don't do too much, man. All right, babe.
All right. So she's mentally overwhelmed. Losing inner peace can mean she's carrying too much emotionally or mentally. Um, she's drained from trying to keep things together. She may feel misunderstood or unsupported. Let's go with
Whew.
that first one, that first bullet. Losing her inner peace can mean she's carrying too much. We often talk about the men and how men hold things in. Women do the same thing. We carry a lot of different things with us every day. Some things we talk about, sometimes some things we don't. And so losing the inner peace emotionally and mentally or mentally can be draining for women. Being misunderstood. Sometimes just like what Lavelle little comment about being too extra. Sometimes women are misunderstood. Sometimes we are very misunderstood. And I see Rodney chiming in too. Rodney, go take a nap. Yeah, sometimes we're misunderstood as women.
Y'all on y'all own, gentlemen. Gentlemen. Y'all on
Rodney,
y'all.
Rodney, go take a nap. Lavelle, go do something. I don't know, but don't do too much.
So, so losing inner peace can mean she's carrying too much emotional men. I don't, and I know that happens. I do know that happens because carrying too much emotionally or mentally could most certainly have a lot to do with her past and not her present. And when you're thinking about somebody's past, especially women tend to carry past trauma and past hurt far longer than men do, right? And and so she could come in and it could be something that has happened in her childhood, growing up, wherever, and she's carried this burden and carried this thing with her, and now it's finally, or something has triggered it. Because we in the past we've talked about triggers, certain triggers in relationships, or certain triggers that happen, and triggers could be words, could be a phrase, could be an action or somebody, a look somebody put on their face that reminds you of somebody of the past and how they, and it essentially set you off. So so that's another one of those conversations. If a woman tell me, "Look, it's too much. It's too much for me." When she
Mhm.
says too much, I need to know what's too much.
But and too, babe, a lot of times, I'm not sure what everyone else does, but as women, because we do get overwhelmed with everything with life, we do have to find things to help settle us. I think you talked about this on one of the other shows about journaling.
Mhm.
Our thing is traveling. Like when we travel, we leave everything behind and we're out there just living our best lives. But you can do something as simple as just getting up and meditating, taking time for yourself, walking. But as women, we definitely need to find our calm, like find something that makes us calm so that we won't be emotionally or mentally drained.
But is that to fix all though? So
No, it's not. It's definitely not the fix all, but it does help.
because see, but this is my thing. Even if you're channeling that particular energy through journaling, it's still an issue. And if I'm part of the issue, or if I'm there in it dealing with it and you're not talking to me, now it could be a problem with me as well.
Right, right. I agree.
Good morning, Miss Gwen.
Hey, Miss
Good
Gwen.
morning. I apologize, everyone, for jumping on so late.
So I love the journaling thing. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But with me, I'm feeling like, okay, you telling all this in the book and you talking to yourself, but I'm still left with you got something going on. You're carrying too much emotionally or mentally. You see what I'm saying? I'm still left hanging as the partner in this relationship that's going through with you. I'm still like, what's going on? Because you haven't shared with me. Because now, if you share with me, like, I just feel like the way the word, there's some things in the past, and I don't really want to talk about those things, but so there's some things in the past, And well, at least I know there's some things in the past hunting you and you're journaling about it. So now I know that, hey, that's how you're dealing with that. Right. But if you don't even tell me nothing and you just journaling, I'm kind of left because I'm wondering, is it me that's done something that you are journaling about? You see what I'm saying? Don't keep us hanging still.
Well, not necessarily leave you guys hanging, but then I'm gonna say this, babe. I love you, but it's sometimes not all about you. Like it's not all about the men sometimes with women.
It's relate, but
Wait
it's
a minute, babe. Let me get my point out. So, we talk about communication and we talk about the fact that we should be talking to each other. Absolutely, positively. And if you're communicating and the person understands the other person, sometimes in some instances, it's not about the woman or the man and what the person is going through. And you do have to find other avenues to be able to deal with whatever you're dealing with. And that's why I mentioned journaling. Because like if I haven't journaled in a while, but if I were to go and do my journaling and not necessarily directly come to you, Tony, and say, well, Tony, this is what I'm feeling right now in this moment. It may have absolutely positively nothing to do with you as to why I'm journaling. It's just something that helps me mentally stay on track.
But that's not what I'm saying. But as your husband, as a man that's been in a relationship with you 33 years, I know when something is wrong with you. And if I know when something is wrong with you and you're not telling me nothing, but you just going over there journaling, I know something is wrong and you journaling, but you ain't talking to me.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I got
I'm being left out because now I'm wondering, is what you feeling or going through is something me? Is it you? Is it what is it? But if you just simply say, hey, I'm just dealing with some stuff, old stuff that popped up in the past, mentally I'm challenged with, at least now I know that. And I can say, okay, go on, do your journal. But if I don't know nothing, you just go there and start journaling because it ain't about you, it's about me. Yeah, but I still know something is wrong with you.
But sometimes, I know for me, sometimes I need a space in there to process. I know that there's something amiss or wrong, but I can't verbalize it yet. And so it's not necessarily that I'm trying to shut someone out. I'm trying to process it myself so that I'll be able to articulate it. And especially if it's something that's hurtful or that I know my emotions are not in check, before I can say it out loud, I want to make sure that myself is together so that it doesn't come out
the wrong way.
Come out the wrong way against the person that I'm sharing it with.
Yeah.
So sometimes we just need that space to get it.
That's understood, Miss Gwen. But tell me that. Say, Monica will say, I need time. Tell me that. So I know you need some time to work through whatever it is that you're going through before you come talk to me. But tell me that. Don't just leave me hanging. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you got to go and have this whole dialogue and conversation about what you're feeling and going through and what's hurting. But tell me, give me a minute, babe. Give me a minute to process this. Give me a few. If she tell me, give me a minute, I know to move on till she ready to talk about it. But as a man, you guys would feel the same. Phyllis just said this. Listen to what Phyllis just said. Yes, she carried too much because when men shut down and they don't want to talk, then you carrying around their burdens too.
Yeah.
That's how you feel. If we shut down and we know y'all walk around here. Well, just talk to me, babe. Say something. You carry because he ain't talking to you. If we feel the exact same way. You ain't sharing with us what's going on. You ain't saying nothing, but we know something wrong. Just say it. Mel says she's trying to help herself first, process it first, and then bring it to you quickly. Understood, right. But tell me that. That's the communication piece. That we
So I'm gonna
communicate with each
I want to add another perspective in there. And I know when I jumped on, I heard Monica talking about menopause and that contributing to a lot. So I'll speak to that in my experience. As I've said before, I'm 67 years old, so I've gone through menopause and all that. But for me, Monica, I guess I'm a little bit different. I did not know that I had went through menopause. I didn't have the symptoms. So for that part of me, I don't know that I had any of the drastic changes as far as emotions and all of that. As you talked about, one of the things that I have experienced and have dealt with probably the majority of my life, even though I didn't know it when I couldn't express myself, is depression.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes when I'm going into one of those seasons or episodes, Tony, even though I know mentally I should be saying something to someone to let them know what I'm feeling or how I'm going, it's not that easy that
Mm-hmm.
I actually articulate that to someone. It's just I'm just in that space that I'm not able to communicate. It's been so bad. I'll never forget. I had one episode where, I mean, extreme episode. The only two people on the earth that I could talk to was my son and my daughter. And I couldn't even explain to them exactly everything that was going on. But I physically could not get out. It was just like I could see myself outside my body, but I couldn't speak anything out. So there are some physical things that could be going on as well that's causing someone to not be able to communicate at the level that we need to.
I still say,
I know
I still say,
that sounds
I still say
crazy.
you can say, give me a minute. Give me a minute. That if it ain't nothing but that, give me a minute.
The only thing that came out of my mouth at that point, like I said, that was an extreme case. The only thing that came out of my mouth at that point was, "I'm dying." That's the only words I could verbalize. That's how serious I was, or how deep I was in it at that point. To the point that I was hospitalized because of it. But I still couldn't get anything out.
Drive me absolutely up the wall.
Right. It was hard.
You couldn't tell me nothing, but I'm dying. What?
That's it.
Wait a minute, baby. What are you saying?
And it happened in a very public place. Of course, they got me to the hospital when I was hospitalized. But like I said, that of course that's not something that happens every day or to all people. But again, just that scenario that there are things that physically can be going on with someone that they can't articulate, even though they know in their mind they should tell those close to them, but they just can't get it out in that moment.
And Ms. Gwen, to pick up on that, I know we had a show not too long ago talking about knowing your person's love language. And so when something is off about your significant other, that's when you should be more understanding about and more supportive about whatever they're going through, because you know something's off. They're not their normal self. They're not, they're not doing things that they would usually do. And so that's, that comes into play, like knowing your person, knowing your partner, not just the menopause ladies, but also knowing your spouse, their love language, and knowing, when something is off about them.
And that's definitely important, because there have been situations where and see, I have bouts of depression, Miss Gwen, where it just hit me out the blue, like just flat out the blue. And I don't say nothing. I just get real quiet. I go to myself. I do myself. I just try to stay busy doing stuff. But Monica always knows when it's not right. You good, babe? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm good. And then she'll say, we good, babe? Yeah, we good. And then at that point, it's like the antenna goes off where she's like, he just needs some time.
Just space, right.
You know what I'm saying? He just needs that space. And I need that space to navigate through whatever I'm dealing with going, because I still do now. Like, I have those little bouts of depression, man. I have periods where I think about, like, because it was heavy when I lost 5 friends, like in a matter of 2 weeks' time at one point. And how do you navigate through that?
Yeah.
You know? And that was something like, and I'm looking at these dudes' age, they close to my age, and I'm like, am I next? You know, all of that's going through my mind. You know, I'm next. I'm thinking about their families, their loved ones. You know, I'm thinking about, hey, I can't talk to them no more. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot. And I couldn't. When you talk about articulate that, I couldn't articulate that to Monica, even though she knew
Right.
probably in her heart of hearts what I was, not necessarily what I was going through, but she knew what had happened, had transpired.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't know how I felt, but she knew I was dealing with something.
Mm-hmm.
And to still try to, not try to, but still to function. You know,
Trying to
that
function.
functional depression is just, it's, you
Yeah.
know, like you said, at some point you get to the point that it's so obvious that that others know you need help, but to just be
Mhm.
functionally depressed, and to still go through your day to day, still trying to carry on your responsibilities, like you said, staying
It's tough.
so busy so that you
Yeah.
don't have to deal with it.
That's me.
It
That's
just
what I.
Yeah.
right, and it just compounds it till you get to the point that you crash. Fortunately for me, like I said, there are people who are around me that I guess I say in my circle. I know my pastor is one of the ones that ask me all the time. Well, he looks at me, he'll go, Gwen, are you good? Like you said, uh, he just picks up. We've been known each other for over 30 years, and so he
Mhm.
knows when something is off with me. I'm still being me in my mind, but
Mhm.
others notice that there's something
Yeah.
going on, and I'm
Yeah,
grateful
they
for that.
know.
I'm grateful.
I don't care how you try to how you hide it. When people who've been around you any given period of time that understand you, know the way you move, know how you function, they know. There have been times when Lavelle called me out the blue and was like, bro, you good? You just seem off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
so people know, you know, you might not share or tell them, but they know. You know what I'm saying? All
right.
right. So let's keep it going. Y'all, this is good. This is good. I hope we helping y'all, ladies.
We're missing some comments, babe. I'm not
No, I
sure what
read
we're
all
doing.
those.
Okay.
Yeah, I read all those. Oh well, the one I didn't read was Maya said I was tested twice. I like the fan going at all times. But we all different in our bodies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 3. Can you see it?
I'll read it. It says it's about to relate. If she says this to a man she's involved with, she could mean the relationship has become emotionally turbulent. She's been trying to fix things but now feels defeated, or she loves him, but the connection is costing her peace of mind.
Ooh.
So let's
Oh,
start with the first one. The relationship has become emotionally turbulent. Uh, with that one, sometimes for the partner, it's hard for them to, like you said, unless you really connected with that person, it's hard to see that emotionally you're causing havoc. Some, especially with some men, they think that because they're paying the bills and you know, doing the protection, they don't realize that their own actions are causing the emotional part of the drama that's in the household. So some of the men speak to that.
Lavelle said yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. He said that sometimes we have to look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We had to do some self, accountability and self, look at ourselves and kind of check ourselves.
True.
A lot of times in relationships, we don't see our own. I
Mm-hmm.
almost said another word. We don't see our own mess,
Right.
but we quick to point out the mess of our partners.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
In these, and I'm not trying to push blame back on the women. But I'm saying that sometimes we do have to, before we get to saying you're causing this relationship to be turbulent, we need to look and see. We need to sweep around our own front door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And sometimes we can see that, hey, we're just part of the problem as well. So that's why I love me and Monk's relationship, because we can sit down and talk about it. And and she may point out something to me, and I point out something, she was like, then we can sit there and say, oh, well, I didn't really realize that was happening. I didn't really realize that was happening, or whatever. But we can work through it. We can find some commonality or some common ground to work through it and say, okay, this upsets you, this upsets me. Let's fix that. But some people like to play victim.
I'll go with that.
Some people love to play victim, and some people love to and then some people love to just, when somebody call you out on your stuff, deflect.
Some people are just delusional.
I call you out on your stuff. Now it wasn't an issue with me at first, but soon as I call you out on your stuff, now, well, what about when come on. Well, let's deal with that then. Since you're gonna put it out there like that, let's deal with it. So you have to, first of all, we got to learn how to talk to each other and quit talking at each other. We got to learn how, if there is an issue, bring it to people in love and grace. Because we just throw something out there when we're angry. That's why when Marcus says, I need a minute to process it, I understand that if I say right now how I'm feeling, it might not come out right.
And one thing about those words, though, once they're said, that's why you have to really be careful about what you speak out, because you can apologize, but a lot of times those words are still there. And so that's why a lot of times, like I'm typically a very quiet person. Tony's the talker, but I guard what I say, because once I say it, you can't come back and say, "Oh, I was just playing." It's out there now.
Yeah. Because once you put that out there in the atmosphere, like we talked about yesterday, sometimes we share stuff with women as men, and then they wait till the most inopportune time to throw it back up in our face. What did you call it, Miss Weaponized?
Weaponized.
Yeah, I think Miss Gwen used the word weaponized. You didn't weaponize that same information back on me. That's diabolical, man.
Yeah.
And the same can be for men. If a woman share, something, her past hurt trauma, and then you throw it up, that's why you can't keep no man now. You keep it. That's diabolical. You don't take people's past hurt or hurt that they didn't share with you and throw it back up in their face to weaponize it, or use it against them.
Absolutely.
That's to me, that's the ultimate betrayal. That's when it's time to move on. Because if you throw that in my face, you'll go and talk to somebody else about me in that way. All right, y'all going on. We talked about that one.
I think Mel Mac made a comment. She said, "Man in the mirror, accountability." She said, "You were hard on me." LOL. Rodney says somebody needs to smoke detector battery.
Man.
Yeah.
Rodney, go back to take that nap. Mel Mac says, "I love it. I'm a big girl. It's growth." The bullet that said she's been trying to fix things but now feels defeated. Ms. Gwen, let's talk about that one. Feeling defeated. Because once you get into like you're feeling a defeated mode,
you give up.
I don't know.
Or at least you step back. I put it like that.
At least you step back. At least you step back. Yeah. So feeling defeated can be the ultimate doom for women.
So when you say feeling defeated, are you talking about in a relationship or just in anything at period? Like if I can't, because I know like there have been times when Monica has tried to do something. I can't do that, man. I tried, just can't do that. And it has nothing to do with the relationship. It might be something she's trying to do.
Right.
That's defeated. Or in a relationship, it could be, look, I've tried to fix this. I've tried to work with you. I've tried to look over these things. You know, I can't do it no more.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm tired.
What's the song? When a woman's fed up,
That's it. That's the first thing I
there
learned.
ain't nothing you can do about it.
I don't think neither party should ever be in fix it mode.
Yeah.
Say that again, Tony.
I don't think neither party should ever be in fix it mode, trying
Mm.
to fix something or somebody else, because you can't. I think that's where when we talked about, I think this probably had been maybe a year ago or so, where we talked about people just being in relationships a long term, knowing that the relationship been over.
Mhm.
You stayed in it for 20 years, knowing the relationship been over for 18. And they stay in those relationships because they felt like, I could fix this person. Let
Mhm.
me fix. And then in the end, you realize I just wasted 18 years of my life trying to fix a person, and I couldn't fix it. Or him. I couldn't fix her. I couldn't fix him. Because they needed to take accountability for their actions and what they were doing in the relationship, and they never would. And you was gonna try to fix it and fix them.
Mhm.
So fixing mode in relationships for me never works. A person there has to be some self accountability, some self checking, some self, where you looking at, what am I doing in this relationship? What am I doing? You know, and you can't again, people like to play the victim. I've been the victim in this whole thing. Oh, I just dealt with it. I just been like, man, get over it. Let's like I'm big on communication now, and I used to be the shutdown person.
Mhm.
I'm shutting down. I ain't talking about, because you ain't trying to hear what I'm saying. But it wasn't that they wasn't here trying to hear what I was saying. It was sometimes people would cut you off when you come at them wrong. So if I don't know how to come to you in love and share something, to tell you in love, and then they'll shut you off, cut you off instantly, because first of all, you ain't finna come to me, talk to me like that. So I think we have to find that space where we know how to approach people, talk to people, approach people in love, and then maybe they can receive it in love.
Another thing is compromising, because like I may not always agree with everything someone says or the way they do things or whatever the case, their opinion or whatever, but there should also be some type of compromise in whether it's a friendship, relationship, or whatever ship it is. Compromise has to be in there somewhere as well.
Oh yeah, most certainly. But I don't like to fix it. I can, let me try to fix it. Mel said a woman don't give up easily. We try to fix it first, and if you don't listen, okay. See, that ain't fixing it. We need to have a conversation, our conversation, and in our conversation, we need to talk with each other in love and grace and say, hey, I love you, but there are some boundaries that you've crossed, and I can't continue to accept these boundaries. If you're going to continue in that behavior, then I mean, I can't continue to stay in this relationship.
I think there's a difference also too in the concept of fixing it and the concept of controlling a situation.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I didn't want to do it. I'm glad you did. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I was sitting here like, man, I don't want to say that, 'cause I'm gonna be like, this male
Yeah.
show pig. But
Because oftentimes, especially
absolutely
depending on our personalities, a lot of
right. You're
us
absolutely
are
right.
more controlling, wanting to control the situation to the way we want it to be, instead of, like Monica said earlier, about the compromise part of it, of being able to
Mhm.
work toward that middle ground to get it resolved. So yeah.
Rodney says sometimes people are not in a mental state to receive your issues. So now you both got issues.
Right.
And that can happen in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Mel said, what comes from the heart reaches the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Miss Paulette. So when you think about that control thing, because some people, they ain't trying to fix it, they trying to control it. And there is a difference.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do this because I can't. We're gonna probably have to move on from this because I got an example, but I don't know how I can you do without saying a name or like, and I don't want to put nobody on blast like that. But controlling, trying to control something or somebody, it's never the answer. I don't know what happened to Monica.
Yeah, mine almost jumped out, but I definitely agree with that. And again, Tony, I think that goes back again to personality and knowing the person, knowing the place of where they're coming from, what their motives are, as far as how they're interacting with someone else. Because sometimes that a person is coming from a genuine place and they're just really trying to help to get it better. But then there are others that it's like it's my way or the highway. And that's where you draw the line.
Keep talking. I'm gonna see if I can fix Monica's issue. Hold on.
That last one, she loves him, but the connection is costing her peace of mind. I saw a post, I think it was yesterday, and I might have sent it to Tony, I'm not sure, but someone had on there, it said that if you cheat on a person, you don't love them. And I just thought that kind of fit in with the discussion, especially right there. If you love them, but it's costing your peace, can you still love someone and do things that are hurtful to the relationship? So for me, I used to think no, that if you didn't doing all those things, you really don't love me. But I think there's degrees to the love as well. You can love someone and not necessarily be in love with them. And those things that you're doing in there, while there may still be physically there, it's costing them their peace. And so that love changes. Someone jump in the comments and give your thoughts on that as well. Can you really love someone? Can you really love someone and cost them their peace at the same time? Or does it matter? Any comments? And also, what things are costing the peace? Is it something temporary that can be resolved, or is it something long term? And in the case of the woman, she's just been holding it in and stuffing it down, and to the point that she gets to that point of no return. Do those things affect her loving him? What do you think? Looking at the responses. I see on here that Rodney says that sometimes earlier on one of his upcoming, he said sometimes people are not in a mental state to receive your issues. And Rodney, you're so right. I alluded to that earlier about the emotional state, but also just mentally, we don't have the capacity to deal with things. And usually that ties right into that costing her peace of mind as well. Mental capacity plays a factor. So Monica and Tony, welcome back. We're talking about, or I started talking about the last bullet that says she loves him, but the connection is costing her peace of mind. And I mentioned that while I agree to that to some degree, that yesterday I saw a post that says if they love you, they won't cheat on you. And so
it's absolutely not true.
Right, and that's what I said. To step back on that. That there are, I followed that up by saying that there are degrees to love. Though you can love someone and not be in love with them in the moment or at some point after that. So it's at any point. I think you can love someone and question their peace at the same time. Because again, you can love someone from a distance, and
Right.
not
Absolutely.
right.
Mhm. And
It's
that,
still
that
not,
whole that's another thing. That's a topic
yeah,
for another
yeah,
day.
yeah.
I shit, man, yeah, we're gonna make it through this thing. It's,
Mm. No.
uh, she's lost herself.
Mhm,
Sometimes losing inner peace means she's drifted from her own identity.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Can this really? I know with men a lot of times because again, so much is expected of us and placed upon us to the point where sometimes we can feel not worthy. We can feel like we done lost the purpose. We don't have no purpose. We just don't feel like ourselves anymore. And uh, I I don't know. I can't really picture. Well, I guess it's hard for me to picture women.
Monica, you can probably. I think Monica may agree with this one. Me, especially for women, I think it's a lot easier to do that because, especially as we become mothers and we take on the role of a spouse and all that, we're so embedded in those identities that we often put ourselves or what we were before then on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And those identities become so much more important, and we're so much more invested in those. Being a mother, you, as you're depending on how involved you are in that role, you, the person you were before motherhood, just lies dormant or vanishes altogether.
We were watching a movie last night, and this lady was married to this dude who had in his past life was a basically an assassin. He was a assassin for the government. The government used him to terminate people. And he decided to walk away from that life, change his name, met his wife, but he never told his wife about that story. And then of course the wife used to be this college athlete and wanted to do the triathlon and do all
Mhm.
that stuff and of course start having kids. Like you said, had
Mhm.
kids, put who she wanted to be on the shelf, but she around here saying, man, I just wish I just had I got this kid, this baby, and and she's sharing with this other lady at the gym how, you know, she wished she could kind of go
Redo.
hey,
Redo.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
those days. And then she thinking like her husband like a little wuss because they had a little fair and for their anniversary and these young dudes talk crazy to him, pour the slushy all over his head, knowing
Ow.
him
He a
himself knowing
real killer.
all of it. But she thinking like yeah, it's okay that you didn't say anything to him, like he a little wuss. And he's sitting there like, man, I could have killed all of you know. And but sometimes I think we do kind of lose ourselves.
Mhm.
We want it to be something, but yeah, all of a sudden this little bundle of joy, something comes along, or a life happens, and oh,
Right.
I dead now. I got to care for my mother, or my father, or
Mhm.
whatever the situation may be, and we kind of drift away from that identity we had at some point.
Well, we also make sacrifices, Tony. So
Right.
like for me, getting married at 20, we were real young, 20, 23 years old, 18 with first baby, 21 with second baby. We make sacrifices. And then like for now, I'm so thankful that, yeah, I did a lot of things when I was younger, but now I'm able to enjoy Monica. And
Mhm.
that's so important. Like, when you talk about peace, whatever your peace is, that's what you got to find. But as a young adult, we made several sacrifices. I don't know if I wouldn't say losing myself or not feeling like myself, but there were sacrifices that had to be made for the family, the betterment of the children, betterment of the husband, and so forth.
Monica,
Mm.
I have a similar situation. I graduated from college in June and was married in July, and then we had our first child 2 years later, and then that life started happening. And so for me, after all of these years, getting back to the place of, because I never lived a young adult single life on my own beyond college, I don't feel like I ever really developed or experienced my own true identity beyond going directly into motherhood, into a career, teacher, into a spouse. And so never really knowing who Gwen would have been back in those early years. It took me a long, long time to get out of that framework, even though I physically stepped out of some of those roles. I never really knew who I was or would have been back then to try to develop. And for me, because I never did, it's still difficult for me to really focus on myself and just do for me, because I never had that opportunity, or I never
Call me, Gwen. Call me, girl. I'm telling you.
Monica
Call me. I done figured it out. I'm telling you. And it's important to do. Like, you know, after you've lived so long for everybody else and you've made sacrifices, not just for women, men as well. You guys make sacrifices as well. But hey, every time to live for you.
And you know, I hear that.
Rodney said something that's key. He said it's not always easy or convenient to pause life in the moment to immediately deal with or solve a sudden issue. And that's true. You know, when you think about just like you guys have mentioned, you know, just being young and starting a family, having children, and kind of dedicating and sacrificing so many things for the good of the family and make sure that the family had. And so you had to kind of leave some portion of self behind to become this new parent, this new wife, this new whatever husband, and now all of a sudden you're taking on a whole different identity. When people that seen you in the past say, hey Gwen, how you doing, girl? Are you still doing? You be like, no, you know, out of college I got married, we had a baby, we had nothing, you know, think, oh, okay, I would have thought you would have been doing this by now. You know, and that's how it happens. You know, people see you because they remember what you were in school. And not to say that your life now is bad or horrible. It's just you take on a whole different path, so to speak. So I wouldn't necessarily say that you're taking on a new identity, but just a different path. Your life took a different path.
Right.
And I think, because I think we're all, well, I'm older than all y'all, but also as we're aging, we reflect more on those different things that we could have done or could have been in life had we not shifted and, like you said, on these paths that we're on. And so again, it and that can affect your inner peace. But I think that just comes with aging, period, that we reflect and sometimes question some of the decisions we've made in life.
It's a cry for space, healing, or change. She's not necessarily into things, but signaling she needs what? Quiet, reflection, time for healing, distance to restore balance. I think this is kind of what, you know, Monica was talking about earlier when she went, you know, journaling, you know, that quiet reflection, journaling and journaling and things that, you know, events and things that are going on, this kind of just taking some time for self-healing or distance yourself to restore some balance. You know, sometimes you have to get away. Let me distance, you know, so I can really think about my next move, how I'm going to say what I'm going to say, position myself properly, so I won't say
the wrong thing.
Yeah. And sometimes, Tony, we just have to take off our Superman cape.
Yeah.
Because eventually, like the last Phyllis says, in short, I've been fighting too hard to hold things together, and I'm at a breaking point. When a person gets to a breaking point, it generally don't end well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Rodney said, I just heard someone who just quit their job to pursue life without limits for that reason, living in the constructs of life with school, college, children, career. They decide at this point not to live through the trip stories of others' lives and make their own stories from their first person point of view. Man, that's
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
with that.
Absolutely.
I fully support. I told Monica yesterday, we were riding down the street and we saw an RV and she pointed to it, babe, there you go. What I asked you, I said, you want to sell our house and get one?
I
And
gotta sleep in a real bed, babe.
she was like, no. I was like, why not? I mean, we could live where we want to live, travel, do what we want to do. And she was like, I don't know about that one. But I'm
Rodney,
like,
I love that comment though, Rodney. It's
Right.
absolutely important. Like, I don't regret, I have no regrets, zero regrets of being married young or having children young. I don't regret any of that. But I do know that now the focus has to change a little bit because like me and Miss Gwen, we further that way than this way. So every day, every second, every moment counts. Like every minute counts. And so I won't have any more regrets for the rest of my life. I'm going to do the things that make me happy. I'm going to do the things that bring me peace, ladies. And that's all I was kind of saying to begin with is that find your peace. I know we got to close, but you got to find your peace. Like whatever that peace is, you find it because life is just too short. Whether you're 20 years old, 21 years old, 30 years old, however old you are, life is just too short. And so you do have to find that peace and live it out.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want to end or add this little point too. Also, do it in baby steps.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we know where we want to be, but then we start putting a lot of guilt on ourselves because we haven't done those things, Monica. And so we have to give ourselves grace. And move. And like I said, move in baby steps. Get that, for me, a lot of people want more from me than I want for myself. Just like you and Tony just said, call me. I know I need those things and need to take care of myself more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't just innately that I do for others. So just giving myself grace and not holding it against myself that I have not taken care of myself.
And like you said, it's a baby step process. When you've been doing it for so long, you can't just turn that switch off. You can't snap your finger and you a whole different Miss Gwen now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You got to take some baby steps because you're so used to putting everybody else first and for everybody else that you haven't taken that time for self-preservation, self-care, not that you treat yourself like a rag doll, but
right.
I don't make myself the priority.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Well, look, thank you guys, man, for being our guest on today. You guys did a tremendous and awesome job. Me and Monica, both of you guys, and you guys really helped me kind of understand too, that part about the inner peace with women, because sometimes, we tend to kind of take things for granted. We take people for granted. We take life for granted. And, sometimes we take people's peace for granted. And this works for both sides. And we have to recognize that everybody's entitled to that peace. Everybody's entitled to that love and that peace and that care. And so all we want you guys to do, and that's the purpose, like this is actually something we visited a year and a half ago. And I brought it back because we never dug this deep into it. And so most of our conversations from the past are going to come. You guys are going to see these conversations coming back up because, we're taking a deeper dive into and then we're not the same. Lavelle and I, Monica and I, Ms. Gwen, we're not the same as we were a year and a half ago.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. And with that growth comes a new perspective or a different perspective in some instances. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Ms. Gwen, we're going to let you, if you will, pray us out.
All right. Father God, we thank you again for another opportunity to be before you. Father God, we thank you first and foremost for just being who you are, for being the guiding light in our lives, oh God. We thank you, God, that you have placed in our path, God, those who are like-minded, those who seek to help others, those who, oh God, have a wealth of knowledge and wisdom to be able to share with each other. We ask now, God, to provide the blessings and the things that are needed for this podcast, oh God, for the two men, oh God, that you've given the vision to bring forth this opportunity to help others to grow. And we thank you first and foremost again, oh God, for just being who you are, for being the one who, God, who's going to prepare the place that you have us to go. And we give you praise for it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Man, and don't forget the Prepare Life Essential Survival and Kids Seminar, November the 8th, 2025, from 12 to 2 p.m. It's free admission. We're going to be hosting this at the Lake Grove Missionary Baptist Church, 4941 Weaver Road, Memphis, Tennessee. Make sure you are there. We have a lot of information to share. We just want you guys to be prepared, safe, and prepared. So again, thank you. I am not giving out no emergency survival kits. Rodney said maybe people might think so. No, we're not, but we're gonna give you some information. All right. You guys
teach a man to fish is better than feeding him a fish.
Hello. We'll see you guys Monday morning, same bad time,
same bad place.
2 Men in Hats.
Let's talk about it.
The 2 Men in Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock, Dead, P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Men in Hats podcast.